Well, I was going to work on this truck today, but it was way too cold and windy. And my heated shed, it's not tall enough for me to fit that in there. Well, it might be tall enough, but there's just not enough room in there, and I don't feel like cleaning it out. So maybe I'll try this project tomorrow. And then once I get it done with this truck, we got to move on to that cub there. The water was pretty deep on it. But it's a slow process going on. One of these days I need to put that back in the shed. It's been sitting outside for about 2 months now. Not the greatest idea. It's definitely weird being the end of October and not having to pick any corn or cut any beans, and just to look out across the field and it's just growed up with weeds. I'm hoping within the next couple days I'll go up and get my neighbor's cat with his disc ripper. We normally rent that from him every fall, rip all the ground. We didn't get a chance to rip it last year because it was so wet and we were still cutting beans into the middle of January. Even though we don't farm a lot, the weather still does affect us on some things. So that seems to be the plan. But I guess I'll try to get started on that truck tomorrow, wherever it's at, right there. And we'll go from there. It's probably pretty dark in here right now. But my plan is to get that. We got the 300 done. We got the 766 done earlier this summer. I need to get the fluids changed in that truck, fluids changed in that little tractor. Probably pull the 2 planters out and get them greased up and oiled up since they both went underwater. But my main plan is to get everything out of this shed. I don't think anything's ever been completely out of here, but I want this 100% empty in here. And it might not look terrible, but you got this junk over here on this boat that hasn't moved since the 80s probably. This little grain wagon, we just fill it up with junk now. There's a rotary hoe back there I would like to save. Then you come over here, it's probably getting too dark in here now. There's our old moldboard plow. Luckily I never had to use that. There's just a lot of little odd and end junk in here that needs to be cleaned up. After the 1993 flood, I don't think they really came through and cleaned this place out a whole lot. Just the stuff we use on a regular basis. Over here's a harrow. I've never seen it move in my life. I'm 29. Along with that rotary hoe back there. It's been sitting there my whole life. I've never seen it move. We do use the field cultivator over there. It's not a very efficient field cultivator, but it's what we got, and that's what we use. Except for last spring, I didn't use it. I decided against it. The problem is all the shovels are too close together, at least in my opinion, and it uses a narrower shovel. And what that does is it causes trash to build up in there, and it won't flow through, so it just balls up. And then I'm constantly stopping, backing up, dragging it out. There's a corn cultivator sitting over here underneath the shed door, which I don't know if you can see the shed. Yeah, there's the shed door sitting on top. I remember as a young kid us using that field cultivator, but I've never actually ran it myself. We got away from that. I don't know if many people still cultivate corn. It's just a thing of the past, as far as I know. And, we still got some junk sitting outside. Well, I call it junk. But we got our chisel plow, our small brush hog, and our big brush hog. And that kind of stuff, well, the big brush hog's probably junk, unless I can find a gearbox for it. But it's a pretty old mower, and it's probably just time for it to go. But eventually I'd like to get all that stuff in here and organized and get rid of all the trash. That's a goal of mine. It might not be today or tomorrow, but I'm hoping at least by spring or next summer to have that happening. Along with the other thing is we had a bad storm probably 5 years ago, maybe even 6. I forget exactly what year. And the shed door, they were closed, came off, flipped out by the little shop over there, which is a building that you probably can't see. And it swung back in, and it actually landed exactly in this spot. Well, with that being the case, we decided to open these doors up so they didn't get tore up by being closed with that one wide open. But in return, that door is damaged now. And it's a mess. This shed's really not that old. It was built in the mid-70s. It's not the biggest. It could definitely be bigger, but it does what it needs to do. I've rambled on enough here though, so hopefully there's a new video coming out for that truck pretty soon. I'd like to get started on that tomorrow, weather depending, and we'll see. Alright, I know this wasn't a real exciting video, but I just wanted to give you guys a quick update on what's going on and what the plans are around here. I do plan on starting to get a video on this truck when I start working on it. Whether you find it interesting or not, let me know in the comments. I appreciate you guys watching everything. If you enjoy the videos, go ahead and give them that thumbs up. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And remember, I am the Second Shift Farmer.